personal chef today give me a lot of freedom and another way to think how to make revenue and not being only a chef for a restaurant or just become something else,
Welcome to the Private Chef Podcast, serving the 1%. I'm your host, Hannes Henche, and on our show we speak to the best chefs, how they honed in on their skills to excel in the industry, and what it takes to work as a private chef for some of the most exclusive clients in the world. Welcome back to the Chef Series. Today we have a fellow Daniel member. You know, he also arrived in the United States working for Chef Daniel, like many of us in the private industry. So welcome to the show, Yllan.
Thank you very much for having me today, Hannes. I'm really happy to be part of your podcast and answer any question that you would like me to say about like my experience, my personality, or we can go. I have over like 20 years experience as a chef, so there is a lot to say.
Yeah.
A lot.
So what got you into cooking? Let's start right there. You know, now you're a private chef. You've worked for some of the most acclaimed chefs in the world, but what got you in cooking originally? Where's the original root and the curiosity, the passion for food?
So I'm going to say something really basic, but I'm going to say grandmother. My grandmother was cooking a lot. So when I was a child, around like 10, 11, 12 years old, I was going, my parents were drop me out in my grandmother's house so they can go for work, My grandmother was bring me to the school and they came to pick me up at night in my grandmother's house. But knowledging my grandmother from the morning to the night, she was cooking. So you had flavor, odor, smell. She was constantly in the kitchen and I was always around her, like tasting, helping her, doing any type of food, And I think, at that age, I already like cooking, and yet. And that's why, mostly the first picture that I have with food and want to cook is my grandmother picture at home, cooking every day. I was coming from school and having like anything I want, like you want to eat something, what do you like? I did this. So I was pretty happy. And when I grew up at the age of 17, 18 year old, I had the opportunity to switch and be half at school and half in a restaurant to learn how to be a chef, like apprentice, probably like most of us. And so I start being an apprentice. I find a restaurant. My first restaurant in Paris was in the Champs-Élysées, named Drugstore Publicis. It's still there, but it's not the same concept anymore. It's more like for the tourists, coffee area, souvenir, fine diner restaurant, but smaller. And I start working there. So 15 days I was working for that restaurant and 15 days I was at Ferrandi school learning technique, theory, as you know. And I stay doing that like over than 3 years, until I get my CAP, we call that CAP, BEP. Really basic thing, but like I know now with my experience, school is really good and give you the base, like really the base, but the experience will give you everything later. So that's it, after having my, yes.
So one question,
yes.
How different would you say, just because you said it, you used to cook with your grandma, how different would you say is the produce, the ingredients that she used in terms of flavor to what you're using maybe now in New York City? Because every time I go home, and I think more so my grandma used to have a garden and the quality of produce she had is completely different than much of the stuff that we could possibly buy here.
Absolutely, totally. As you know, in France, we have like that culture of art de vivre. So the French people, we will cook like at least 1 or twice a day for family. woman or man, we like going to the market. I think today there is no mystery. To get the better and better product, you have to buy local. Because the product how we buy in America, they come from California, they travel. They lost of flavor, water, shape, all of that thing per boat, per fly, still a long time. So now local, when you get like half an hour or an hour from a farm or from your garden or from anything, it will be automatically better. So yes, in France, we are like a lot of, it's most local. Then the Parisian people, they're gonna use a local food, and every city or you're gonna go in Paris, Lyon, Bordeaux, they all have their own specialty. So we don't import food from here or here. Everything is in the same city. So what I want to say, it's like the travel for all of the product is like is shorter, so better produce, better attention, because it's true when you buy local, people they're putting a lot of attention and love to grow those vegetables, and big producter they just gonna engrange like it's a machine, a money cash, like you want to sell the quality, it's not really there. The flavor in America here, it's not really the same. I agree completely. From a vegetable to a meat to a fish, it's completely different. There is I think, I don't know if I can call that a miss of flavor, but it is not like flavory as such of produce that we have in France, especially. But anyway, you still can find now in America, and I've been here for like over than 13 years, there is a lot of way to find local and good product in America. It's not like it used to be. It's still definitely better than like 15 years ago. So I find pretty much good products. I have a really nice company that they read to me, and I work with them for many years. So we have a relationship, and I can buy the best quality of product all the time, for the best price
Yep.
as well.
Who is that?
And I say quality and the best price as well, which is really important. You want to have
I meant which company? Well, if you want to give it away.
Yeah, no, sure. So, like for the summer, for an example, as a private chef, I'm deserving like Brooklyn area, Manhattan area, New Jersey, Connecticut. So, for example, all of this summer, most of my party happen in New Jersey. So what I do, I'm going right away to the farm. So, local, that's what I use. Winter time, it's a different story. We use Baldor. Most of the private chefs use Baldor. Or I'm going myself to any market, or it happen, I can go shopping at Whole Food for search of product, But you can find many good things if you research. There is a good product also in New York City. But like I said, when I'm going to New Jersey, mostly the farm. I'm going at the morning. From there, I look at all of the vegetable. What kind of plate can I build with it? The season, all of that thing. But definitely, summertime, spring and summertime are fun. And December, it's a different story. You have to dig a little bit to find the best, and work with seasonal product, which is, the thing. Seasonal product all the time will be better and cheaper. Yes.
One of the companies that I really love is Lancaster Farm Fresh Co-op. I mean, they're in Pennsylvania, and I think you can order them. Over the last couple of years, they also started delivering through Fresh Direct, and sometimes they are part of the local produce that's being sold at Whole Foods. But they got really good stuff, and one of the things that I always felt is lacking here, something as simple as a potato. If you have a French potato or a German potato, it is so much richer in flavor. And for quite some time, I was trying to find those kind of potatoes that have that same flavor profile. And you can really only find it from like the farmer's market, maybe on Union Square. You got some vendors who have those kind of potatoes. Or maybe like the Lancaster Farm Fresh Co-op. And I love that part. And your cuisine looks very much product focused. You know, the way your style of cooking is, you know, you're really enhancing good products in the first place.
Oh, yes. Yes. The first thing is like, so I'm selling an experience, you know, because having a chef cooking at home, everybody can enjoy. But first, it's making money, okay. But first, you want to be proud of what you're doing. And, you know, loving what you do today and still loving after 20 years is a privilege, you know. So I want my customer, when I deliver my food, they are like, wow, you know, there is a technique, there is a taste, there is flavor, quality of product, all of that thing. And when I get all of that thing, I can breathe and say, okay, I did what I have to do. Before like looking at my bank account, you know, you do that by passion. So you want to make sure like you deliver the best product. You don't look at your hour. You know, it could be anytime someone can call you at 9 o'clock at night. You're supposed to respond and help them out, you know. Okay, chef, we want to cater for like 40 people. What should I do? Can you send me a menu? So you need constantly to be available for those people. And the first thing, quality of service, quality of product, being clean, be able to speak to the people that you're going to serve at night, you know, and be part of the experience, you know, that's what they want, you know. And more after the COVID, after what we've been through, people, they still not trust like 100% restaurant. So there is a real like a private chef thing happen for many years now, but now we become bigger, you know. Before it was like just, I'm going to have a private chef once a year for something like, you know, very important. But now people, they can have like a private chef coming like once a month, twice a month, you know. So it's a new thing happen. They understand that it's better if the chef come with all of the fresh product at home and start working at home for the flavor, for the quality, security, because they can check what you buy and if you are real true. Now, it's true that the caterer, someone will prep before 90% and finish it at home. So that's what I like between the caterer and private chef. And I always show them the difference. I will never come like with 90% of my product already made. I will make it in your kitchen with the equipment that I have and with my thinking that I check the menu before, and that's what I need. So I'm going to come with everything in you, even in your small kitchen, to do that fancy menu that you can have in a first star Michelin-starred restaurant, you know, kind of, or bistro or banquet. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there is a real value add to having everything freshly. It's in many ways it's like the most luxurious experience in the sense that you can be in the comfort of your home and you have somebody serving restaurant grade food, you know. And you've worked for some of the best chefs in the world, like Daniel. So what was that like when you first came to the United States? You kind of got into the restaurant industry. What was that journey like to become a private chef that now works for people at their homes?
Absolutely. So before being a private chef, I've been a chef for restaurant. So I start as you, apprentice, commis, first commis, chef de partie. All of this happened in France. So I become a chef in France. I had like 2 years of experience and I was working for that amazing start Michelin chef. Nobody know him really, but if you do your research, he's like huge. He doesn't like to be known. It's more like in the back, you know, you have people like that. They are genius and they don't want to be seen. His name is Didier Oudil. So if you check on internet, Didier Oudil was working for all of those like Alain Ducasse, To give you an idea, he trained Daniel Boulud. So Daniel Boulud worked for him in Paris when
Yeah.
he was search of age. And so he stayed with Didier probably 3 or 4 years. And then Daniel decided to move in America in his own, and he started his own story. So I want to tell you about
Yeah.
that because when I come from France to America, I didn't know anyone. So Didier at that time called Daniel and said, "Listen, I have that young chef who wants to see how we work in America. Do you have time for him?" And Daniel at that time, he was already huge, he had already like five,
Yeah.
six restaurants. So I was really impressed. And so we had that meeting with Daniel, with my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend. So we have that meeting with Daniel. He invited us for lunch and we discuss. He asked me, how's Didier going? If is everything well? Are you looking for a job? Do you want to have some experience with me here in New York City? And I say, yes, absolutely. So that's how I start at DBBG, to have like kind of knowledge about like how to talk in English, how to work in the kitchen, because working in America and working in France, it's different. The discipline is completely different.
Yeah.
Like maybe as you know. So for me, that was totally like I thought I was a chef. I thought I was like I had that knowledge. I have that security. That like I was feeling good, but everything was. I get pushed by other person. They were other way to work, and it blew my mind, So I just jump on the train and start learning a new way to work, New York City way to work or American
Yeah.
way to work, which is not bad at all, but it's totally different. France, you have the rules. Now I know there is a lot of shortcut to get whatever you want. Version New York City, So. So to tell you, like 5 years ago, I was working for that restaurant in Southampton named Le Charlot. It's a French bistro restaurant in Main Street. And I stay over there, like I work for Thierry Gelormini. He's from Corsica. He's still the owner of the restaurant. And I help him open the restaurant, the menu, put the team in place, and like starting the restaurant. After 2.5 years, I was feeling tired about the industry so much. Like, how I can explain you? I was still in love what I'm doing it, like cooking every day, but the atmosphere was so heavy because as a chef, so you have a brigade of 10 people, sometimes 15 people, the schedule. So what I want to tell you, it's like the job get over me because I was not doing that by passion anymore. My passion was cooking. Go take the food
Yeah.
and transform it. And that part of like training people as well or having a team, I love it so much. But after years, my shoulder become, because you do a lot of social, a lot of bad thing happening, and you the chef, so you have to be always here, 7 day a week, sometimes 50 day a week. Sometimes you have a branch of 300 people, and you have a team of 10, and you have only like 6. They show up on time, So there is a constant stress, and a lot of stress happen.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was like 37-year-old. I'm like, you're gonna find me on the floor one day. So I'm gonna step out and see what are my other choices, as a chef. What can I do, In
You know what
France,
you just said?
before coming in
I just
America,
wanna
I had that experience as a private chef. I want to do,
recording.
okay. So I have that, so I was looking to be a private chef, if you want. So I was still working in Southampton at the Charlot, and I find that opportunity to be a private chef because I had the idea in France 15 years ago to do a private chef at home, but at that time it wasn't like people didn't understand the concept. So I'm like, okay, in America it's happened. People did doing it. Why should I don't? Why can I not doing that? Working for a family at the beginning. So I get calling like agencies, 3, 4, 10 agencies, explain them my situation. I want to be a private chef, start working for a family. What should I do? They were like saying, you are a chef. We agree with that. There is no question. The problem is you don't have any experience as a private chef. I was like, I don't understand. So come back next week.
The big chicken and the egg in the
Exactly,
industry.
exactly. I was like, they was like, come back next week. They didn't know me. I'm like, okay, come back next week. Maybe I have something for you. I come back the week after. Do you have something? I may have something. And we start building relationship with agencies because they see like that's what I want to do. And at one point, one of the agency called me and said, chef, I have an opportunity for you, a part-time job chef for a family in Midtown, for a doctor, chirurgien. He wants you to be here only part-time for dinner and cook for his family. For him, he believed that's a nice occasion to have his family around the table, like French people, at least one time a day, or you have all of the family
Yeah.
around the table. So he loved that idea. I had an interview with that person. He became a friend. His name is Dr. Drew. He became a friend now after years. And he was like interviewed like probably 10 chefs. And each of the 10 chefs, we had one night to do a tasting menu for his family. And I did the tasting menu. I get called like 1 week later, you hire. Yes, I was already halfway to be a private chef. You know, that was a big change. But as you know, you cannot jump from a chef to a private chef. Again, money, you need to live every day. So you cannot leave completely the restoration industry. So it was like half and a half, you know. And after 1.5 years, I make my experience with Dr. Drew. His family love me. He write me a nice, how did you say that? Recommendation, you know, and he say, I think, I told him, I think it's time for me to take a full time as a private chef. So now that I have experience, they will not tell me I don't have experience. So I get to the agency and say, now I have experience, find me a full-time job. Okay. Probably like 2 months later, they call me, Yllan, we have the big, one big opportunity for you. Our billionaire client just look at your resume. They love you. They want to interview you as soon as possible. And it becomes something different for me because after that, so you have to sign a confidential contract to be able to talk to them. So that was a new world for me. I was like, okay, very impressed. Then you have to introduce yourself by video with the person before like getting to the house. And then finally you have the tasting to the house. So you're far away to get higher, but I was already so enthusiastic, a lot of energy that people, they could feel it, you know? So I was doing that with pleasure, you know? I was like, if it's not that one, it will be another one. So I get to these people. I don't know if you know John Paulson, a well-known a trader, a very well-known trader.
Okay.
So I did a tasting for him and his wife. He had 2 kids. I did a tasting. They love it. I make a Dove salt, a vegetable tournée, you know, the potatoes, carrot, the fancy thing like ever you can make. The Dove salt, I just like clean in front of them, you know, the glove, the service, blah, blah, blah. They were like, oh. And so Mrs. Paulson at that time come to me and say, that's fantastic. And they will never tell you hire, okay? But already you can see the face of the person that there is something different. It was light, you know. And she said, okay, we will contact you in a week. I'm like, okay. A week later, they contact me. They say, Yllan, you hire. But before that, you have to pass by a big process, which is we have to check your background. We have to check if you didn't go to jail. All of that thing, you know, for me was brand new. And then at the end, they explain you what the job will be in detail. And he become like kind of very like, that's how you understand being a chef for a restaurant and being a chef for a private family. It's 2 different worlds. It's not about only cooking. So I get to that list, over that list. So, of course, you need to travel with them anytime they need to. They have a house in Southampton, Puerto Rico, Aspen. So you need to be able to jump on a private jet anytime to follow them anywhere. Okay, this is the first thing. But my duty for them was to work lunch and dinner for the main house in Manhattan. Okay, 5 day a week. That's what it's supposed to be, and come for lunch and dinner. Sometimes just for Mrs. because Mr. was busy. Sometimes Mrs. Paulson was guessing probably 6 or 7 person, for lunch. And sometimes after lunch, we say, we don't need you, Yllan, for dinner. You can go home. So what I want to tell you, it's like sometimes the schedule was really light, but when those people, they were getting busy, the president of the United States come for dinner, raising funds, 75%. So I have to take care of it. So imagine, at that time it was Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So fundraising in the house. The Prince of Monaco and his wife, they come over. Arab Saudite come over. So you have at that time. So this is you become from level 0, like 2, 1 stress to like 10 right away. There is not like, there is no limit. So from a day to another, they're going to tell you, Yllan, for 3 weeks, we're traveling and we need you for 3 full weeks, which is brunch, lunch, dinner. Between, you have to do the shopping between the brunch for the lunch, because you try to be organized as a restaurant and build a menu to go shop all of your things for 1 week and be able to create your thing relaxed in the kitchen. No, it doesn't happen like that. Because from a day to another, yesterday they tell you they want halibut, and
at 3:30 p.m.
Now they want a filet mignon. So you have to completely change your mindset and work day per day. So make more sense now for a chef like me to push us local, to try to get around like the faster, better thing around you. Like that was an extraordinary experience. Fantastic. I was really tired, to be honest, because you work for those people for about 3 years, then you're like, you cannot do it anymore. And the pandemic arrived. At that time, the pandemic arrived, and I was working for those people in 2019. And at one point, they say, Yllan, we love your food, we like you. You are the closer person that we have every day around us. We cannot afford to get COVID. So we're going to let you go home until the COVID get down. But no worry, you get paid 100% of your salary, but we don't need you. Listen, for like 5-6 months, they were paying me without doing nothing. As a chef, I was like most of the chefs during the pandemic. You active, you cannot do anything. I was becoming like, I need to deserve that salary. Please let me do something, I become at that point, or I couldn't anymore. So at one point I called them and I said, I want to do something else, and they let me go. We have an agreement. And my girlfriend, she's a talent, comment t'appelles ça, Cara? A talent manager. So she will take care. This is the new thing for the private chef as well. So Cara, she's a talent manager. She has many talents. Could be a chef, could be a pastry chef, could be someone for clothes, and she will put you on all of the social media. Social media today for our job is really important. That's how you find your job. That's how you promote.
Yeah.
That's how you show product. And she introduced me to that new work. She said, okay, Yllan, I always work for people for like 20 years of my life. So I didn't know what it was to be work on my own, And she said, listen, I'm going to help you. I'm going to create a website for you. And you're going to be a private chef. You're going to go house to house. And that's your dream. That's exactly what you were doing for those people. But you're going to do it for everyone, anytime, any city or whatever you want. So she created that because she's really strong at it. She created that website, and become to the time, or you need to find customer. How do you do when you're a private chef to find customer? So most of the time, people, they will tell you, Yllan, you will start with a flyer. You will start with business card, okay? And then social media. Okay. I didn't know how to find my customer. So I research, and I find a Google ad at the beginning. So Google ad was for me was brand new, and I start putting two campaigns in place. I put two campaigns in place. It was tough at the beginning. I didn't have any lead because you need knowledge to be able to rank the best
Yep.
for a less bid, and it's a constant job, so I put some money, and Cara, which is my girlfriend, she's like, you should try SEO. Have you heard about search engine optimization? And I'm like, no, I'm a chef. I learned, no, I'm sorry, I didn't get outside of that world. What is search engine optimization? Research on Google. Okay, search on Google. At the end, I'm like, yeah, okay, it can work. I think that's the way our people, they do to sell, to find a customer. So let's do it, So we find a ladies for 3 months. She take care of my total desk as a chef. She remind everything, put organic word, tatati. So SEO for 3 months to get some organic lead to rank better. So I did that. Everything went fine, and I'm still working with Google Ads today. But my wish is to do organic SEO, which is at one point don't have to spend that much of money to find my customer. But that's the way mostly I find my customer. The customer I work for the years before. Could be, I have a lot of customer, they come back, and I have a new customer. And on top of that, I have an account on TikTok and Instagram, Vive le Chef, VIVELECHEF, Vive le Chef, TikTok and Instagram, who I show people.
We will add it to the show notes.
Thank you. Yeah. It's a basic thing. It's not a 3-star Michelin. That's not what people they want to see from a chef. They want to see something like it's really easy to recreate, really healthy, not too long, and something they never see. So we just get some sponsor that it's sponsoring me, to promote a product or do a video. And so this is a new world. It's a part of a private chef business as well now. So stop me if I'm speaking too much.
Yeah, you're I said you're really having a journey. You're coming from the restaurant, then you get that like absolute ultra high net worth individual experience, where you're literally cooking for presidents and heads of states and some of the wealthiest people in the world.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, now you're really going for your own freedom, having your own business. And the learning curve in that part is so steep, like everything you just mentioned, in order to, put yourself out there and have social media. And I think especially social media these days for private chef is invaluable. Like,
absolutely.
The level of networking we can do between each other online is unprecedented. And the same is true, like, I've seen more private chefs being hired off their social media than ever before, because
absolutely.
Like, for example, Jesse Itzler, he just hired his recent private chef. She has a very strong social media presence, and they got in touch over social media. And I think that's kind of the power of having a good presence, a good branding and an account, because that's ultimately how people can find you these days without going to the agency.
Absolutely.
And some estate managers or some families might give you a chance without having the private experience in the back if you have a decent presence on social media. Because if they follow you for a year or so, they feel like they know you already. They feel like they've gotten a taste of your food just by seeing the images.
Very true. Very true. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. So the fact that you need to be in that world today, everything changed so fast, and you can see people, they can see your background from, like you said, like 5, 6, 10 years. They can know your personality, the way you cook, who's your friend, what type of person you are. This is really important. An agency will never tell you so much detail. So you can see day per day how this person is, how he react, what kind of mood he is, what
Yeah.
kind of person is. None agency will give you that. So people, they start to realize. And on top of that, it's freedom. It's totally freedom. The social media for now are totally free. So you can show yourself for free. Before, if you want to be seen like that way we've been seeing today on TikTok, Instagram, how much money do you have to put down? Before, if you want to
Yeah.
make that kind of money, the only way is to open a snack or small restaurant. How much it will cost you? $500,000 at the beginning without having
Yeah.
starting, So today the cost is divided by like 1,000%. So I think it will continue to be the best fit for any private chef, like to be on social media and create, like a personal chef page, which is very
Brand.
important. Brand, you can
Yep.
get higher by any person on social media, and on top of that, you can at one point create your own boutique, your own shopping, so you can create your own brand and having like, for example, yes, you can create like, let's say your brand. Yllan,
I can see you already have a
I
vision.
have a
Yeah,
plan.
you already
Yeah.
have a vision for yourself where you're gonna take this.
Absolutely. So, there is
Yeah,
a,
go on. I want to hear it. So
yeah.
go ahead.
So there is before, like being like simply to be a chef before, he was like, you were working for that restaurant and you were Chef Yllan. That's all. That's it. That's it. You were well known for that menu. People come to you. But now as a chef, you can be a chef and work around people. You can be a chef and own your own brand and sell it, like making like a small jam or pate or I don't know, it could be a fruit, confit fruit, it could be sauce, anything, and you brand your name on it and you just leave it on internet. And it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 click every day, and you make money differently using your brand, your name, your experience,
Yep.
your knowledge, and yeah, it's so powerful. It's so powerful. I couldn't have that expectation like 10 years ago. I didn't even imagine that word like 10 years ago. I imagine myself like owning a restaurant, like a huge restaurant, and having a trouble for 25 years, and then being retired and be like, But yeah, there is a new world
If
open.
if if you get there,
Yes.
if you get there,
Yes.
I think I say that on almost every episode, but in Germany there is a statistic by the insurance companies that the average chef dies at 57, so you don't even get the retirement.
Imagine.
And that's the beauty now is, I think we have options, especially being private chefs. And what you're doing, you're really exploring different income streams as a chef, not just trading your time for money, but also, optimizing on your services,
Exactly.
working for high profile clients that are willing to pay the premium for having somebody in their home. But at the same time, you're already thinking beyond that. And you're like, hey, if I have a confiture or something, that I have a personal brand that I can sell online, there is another layer of income, which I think at the end of the day improves the quality of chefs. Like it gives you more freedom. And as you said, I think social media gives us more freedom than we ever had before, because we're able to turn our skill set into a properly paid job or business.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And different way, because when I'm going to do a party in any house, people, they are super happy to see me. They welcome me. When you work for a family as a private chef, you have also to deal with a sense of humor of person, which is affect you every day. Because I give you a simple example. As a private chef for a family, they will tell you, okay, we're going to be 12 for lunch, and it's going to be at 1 o'clock sharp. You prep your menu from the morning, get shopping, and at 11 o'clock, they're going to tell you, we cancel it because we have something else to do. So it hurt really, because you don't get any consideration. And it's really true. And as a private chef on my own, all the time when I'm going to a client house, it's going to be the first night. So they're always happy to see you. You know, the sense of humor is beautiful and it's really nice. And when you left, they're very happy. When you come back, probably 1 month later, they're always happy to see you. You know, so you're working in a different also
So
environment.
you get the best of. Oh yeah, that's true. There's sometimes in the private chef industry, especially if you work for ultra high net worth individuals who
Absolutely.
put enormous value on their own time and having things happen their way. Because I mean, if you're a billionaire, that's just how it is. The time of the chef
Absolutely.
has a lot less consideration and value to you, and
Absolutely.
that's part of the service we're providing.
Absolutely.
But I do share the feelings that you have. You know, sometimes it feels enormously inconsiderate because I spent whole lunches waiting, and then maybe my principal comes like, oh, I already ate at the golf course, I just didn't tell you.
For example,
And
yeah.
then I'm like, okay, I understand this is the ultimate luxury for you to have me on call, but it's still, as a human being, it sucks.
It sucks, and as a chef, you need that because you're gonna do that by passion, and at the end, you just wait for the word like, "I'm sorry, it was good," or "it was missing that," or just that little thing. And I thought jumping from a chef or a restaurant as a private chef, I will have more proximity with the people, which it wasn't true at the end. So now being private chef on my own give me the opportunity to meet a large kind of people with a different skill. I mean, you work anywhere, it's really good, it's a privilege. I really think it's a privilege, and none all of the chefs can do that because you need an experience as a chef for many years to be able to become a private chef and to make your money day per day, but it's definitely better than what I was doing because now I can take the restaurant on my shoulder anywhere, anytime. Let's say we have a party of 40 people. I will call a bunch of waiters that I know if they are available, they will come, especially for that party. Again, good sense of humor, good mood. We are happy to see each other. I'm gonna call a friend to cook that I'm gonna need, to prep, help me out in the kitchen. Usually, those people on top of that, you're working in a very beautiful environment. They have the last stove, they have the last counter, beautiful marble, the space. You don't have trouble to park your car when you arrive with the food. So there is all of that thing that are really convenient that there is again, I really believe there is an opening, a bigger opening for that private life, or private chef, or personal chef than it used to be like 15 years ago. Of course, people, they get richer, and now after the pandemic, they're scared to go in a restaurant. But on top of that, they want to show now what they own, those beautiful house with the pool. So they like to invite at home now, more than before. They were going in a
Yeah.
best restaurant. Now they take the chef to come to the house because they have all of the equipment, sometimes better than a restaurant. Sometimes you don't need, I just need to take my bag and
Oftentimes better than a
right?
restaurant.
Everything.
I think most of my clients had better kitchens than
Right?
many restaurants.
Right. So I just speak about myself a lot. I just want to know a little bit about you and your experience. Can you tell me a little bit? Because I saw you are also a real estate agent, or what it is exactly. Did you switch?
No, I'm not. I'm not an agent. No. I see. I love cooking, but when I saw the people, I always looked ahead of myself, and I've been observant what happens to people, and I knew that I didn't want to become someone like Danielle or like many of my patrons of the restaurants who had to be the entertainers of the brand, and I saw them dancing the dance into the later age of their, and some of them simply couldn't retire because they made poor financial choices early on, and others, they might have loved it, but I think some of them didn't have choices. And then on the other end of the spectrum, there is this statistic that I brought up earlier that chefs in Germany have a life expectancy of 57 years. I didn't want to become either of those two versions.
No.
I wanted to have options, and I didn't want to die in the kitchen.
For sure.
So that's when I started becoming a little bit more financially savvy and educating myself. And one of the things I'm doing is I'm investing in real estate, because it allows me to make work optional, and I think actually every private chef should do this, where, we have 6-figure incomes. Many of us have really nice paychecks. I think with a couple of years of discipline on spending, everybody can make work optional by being smart with their money. Within a decade, everybody can kind of invest enough of their money to make their job optional and really live, for example, on the way I would do it is rental income in real estate. And because I do like cooking, but more than that, I love having choices. Just like you now appreciate not working for one particular family, but having the freedom of, saying no to a job on a particular weekend where you maybe want to take out your girlfriend, or you want to fly home to France to be there for your mom's birthday. And, that doesn't contradict with your principal's schedule, because now it's all happening on your time. And I think that's really the next level. I feel like when private chefs, or when we become private chef, we start appreciating the lifestyle benefits with a larger paycheck.
Yes.
But we're still not free. And that's kind of the move I've seen, or I'm seeing with you in the interview, is that you do appreciate that upgrade, and also seeing a different life altogether on a billionaire scale. Like being on private jets is something that for me before was something that other people do, and then eventually I was on a private jet, catering to my principal, going to their second or third house, and that really also made me realize there's a different life that we can live also as chefs, where we have more freedom and more choices. Yeah. But it comes with financial education, just like you started educating yourself about SEO and, what does it mean to build your own brand. I think once we get a little bit more savvy with the resources we have at hand, we can reach more freedom. And that's why I started educating myself in the real estate, and we've done a couple of investments over the last couple of years, and we're building a portfolio that allows us to have more passive income on the side.
I love that idea. Real estate is something that I don't know. I didn't start educating myself. I really think it's like also the future, for income, passive income. I would love to talk to you later. Maybe we keep in touch and we can have...
we can talk off the record about
the record.
That.
But yes, you need that thing. And that's exactly what you said. You have to think like forward and like being a chef today. Think about how you can do a passive income, put logs on fire every day to get customer. And like you said, I don't want to die at 57 or 60-year-old as a chef in a restaurant, doing only chef a restaurant. So it's true that for us as a chef, there is more perspective than today than we used to have like 10 years ago. And it smells very good for a chef. It smells very good. That time, it's really good. You have more opportunity to do different things. Today, with the same business, I can do prep meal, I can do wedding, I can do personal chef, just cooking for like a small amounts of people. I mean, my skill is like, with one thing, we can do like 4 or 5 different revenue, you can make like 5 different ways to make a revenue. Yeah.
What's nice is I think it's never been easier in the history of really mankind to do what you want to do and live the life you want to with the skill set of your passion. Like, see, it's never been easier for you as Yllan to really like, okay, see, I love cooking, but I don't want to be limited to a restaurant. So now you have all these different avenues and different revenue streams that you can explore, and you have the power, thanks to the internet and social media, to build your own presence. And as you said earlier, it doesn't cost you a fortune. You don't have to pay $500,000 upfront to build out a restaurant. You can actually anybody I think can start this on basically no money on social media. You slowly get started, you slowly build those relationships, you come up with different ideas and see what sticks, and you can really create a lifestyle for yourself that also expresses how you want to live life on your terms.
Absolutely. See, this is again, I'm really grateful to be a private chef, a personal chef today. Give me a lot of freedom, and another way to think how to make revenue, and not being only a chef for a restaurant, or just become something else, and there is a lot of opportunity around. So I'm really glad.
Yeah. So what are you working on? You said it earlier that you what are you thinking is the next step for you, chef? Are you gonna, I don't know, I didn't see anything that you're currently selling on your website. Do you plan to have like small glasses of confiture or something, seasonal items that, you can just maybe, you could even drop ship that with Amazon, I guess. You could make the jams and have them in a warehouse and have them shipped by someone else.
Absolutely. So the idea is to have a small boutique with the most common product that people like, and some product will come from France directly, like a real specialty from France and not made by Chef Yllan, but people still like. He comes from France, that kind of mushroom, I like it, I'm gonna buy it. And another way will be to sell probably a sauce, jam, anything I can I can save in long term, it will be
anything that lasts, has a shelf life.
Absolutely, a shelf life. It could be honey, and on the side it could be for the next, it could be a jacket with Chef Yllan, a new design jacket. It could be a spatula, Chef Yllan. It could be a knife, Chef Yllan, So all of that thing, a bag, anything I can put on my boutique, will not cost me that much at the beginning and just sit over there. But at one point, if someone order it, you may right away money with less effort, Prep meal is something I'd love to do. Because I really think there is a big gap, So to become a prep chef, you need a prep kitchen. It's always the same story. So your investment will become different. Because you cannot cook only at home with what you have and deliver it to people. You need another system. So you need a prep kitchen, definitely, that you can rent today. There is a system you can rent for 1 hour, for 2 hours, for 1 day, for 2 days. But again, it costs money, because more you're going to have customer wants to hire you and make a prep meal, more time you're going to spend on the site over there. But knowledging, more you do hour, more you pay. So how can I explain? So they give you that option that easier as a private chef as me, with low investment at the beginning, can jump on the commercial kitchen that you don't own, but you have to pay by hour, which is, or you have the other option, are you going to rent your own commercial kitchen? So will be the next step for me. It's having my own commercial kitchen. So from that old commercial kitchen, I can do everything. I can do catering, private chef, gonna have my refrigerator. So, but what I want to say, it's the cost become different. Like what I'm doing right now doesn't cost much as an investment, but you can make a lot of money. And
overhead.
And that the opposite, if I take that next step, I need to have like probably $200,000 investment for years to have the local, to have all of your own machine. It's still a small investment, not as much as a restaurant, and you can do 2 or 3 times more than a restaurant at the end. Like a ghost kitchen, huh? It's a ghost kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay. So from that ghost kitchen
Yeah.
at the beginning, you can start by doing only Yllan food, huh? Wedding, personnel chef, prep meal. And then you can add also that prep kitchen sharing with other restaurants. So if you can, they will
Yeah, you could rent out your kitchen when you don't need it.
exactly, so there is a way. So my next step, if you ask me, yeah, it will be to have my own commercial kitchen that I can go every day and do anything. So it could be work for like a supermarket, need a bunch of croissants, or it could be for a restaurant. He want a lasagna for his staff, for 1 week. It could be for a barbecue matter, or they want to prep a barbecue setup meal prep for 10 people. It could be a private chef, or I'm going to prep everything, put in my refrigerator, and the day from the events, I can go to the client with being almost ready, and keeping the freshness of the food. So yeah, to develop that kind of company, because I don't believe you can become that much successful as a private chef, but that at one point you're gonna be you're gonna need another investment to reach another step. I really believe, because as a chef, let's say you have 5 parties a week, Monday to Friday. Okay, so you have five party a week that you're gonna do on your own because they hire Yllan Laloum private chef, right? So I'm gonna go as a private chef
Yeah.
Yllan Laloum Monday to Friday, but on Monday I have 6 customers. They want 6 different things. They want to have a private chef at night, but another customer want a prep meal for 15 people. Another one want a breakfast. Another one. So by having that commercial kitchen on a one day, I can do 5 things. So right now I'm limited because I can just go for one party on my own. The idea is to do
Yeah.
many different things in the same day. To be able to reach like such amounts of money. But you can make your living easy, yeah. Being a private chef, yeah, you can make your living, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, but that's taking it to a completely different level. And I think
Yes.
that for that you need to have a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit. You want to be. That's like stepping into the realm of being a business owner,
Kind of,
way beyond
But
just
always,
being a chef.
absolutely, always, I want to be a chef, always still a chef, and I don't want a huge thing. I want to stay like, like a medium size. I don't want to be like huge, like a restaurant, or putting like log on my fire, but different way, different skill, different way to make money, and everything can match. But being a private chef is awesome. Again, traveling is awesome. You non-expected, but from a day to another, you can go to Puerto Rico, you can go to Southampton. Just the fun. I like a change. Fun. I like changing constantly house from another house, having new equipment that you have to adapt yourself because most of the people when I'm gonna say you come to my kitchen and if you're not a chef, try to put my oven the way you want. You need to learn about it, but when you have that experience that you have, any kitchen that you're gonna be able to know how the oven's gonna work, the stove, how to prep your mise en place, your space in the refrigerator, the garbage area being clean, having your gloves. So there is a real process at the beginning when you arrive at home. So first you meet the people. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. And then you ask them the question: where can I find the garbage? Where can I find the cutting board? Do you prefer me to like recycle or not? Having a maximum of this information before and during, before starting the prestation, having a lot of information about what the client like and dislike which is really important. So, you don't have to bother them during, because at the end, you here, but you're not here. You want them to enjoy with a friend. You want them to have fun, but you want to stay discreet as well. It's really important. You don't want to show yourself too much. Instead of they ask you to come and introduce yourself, but always being discreet. People like it, and clean. You have to be clean. This is the first thing. Clean, and acknowledging some tips about the clients before what you would like, having a surprise thing at the end, a little sweetness. Oh, I know that he like a Brussels sprout that way, so I'm going to do a little bit that way and a little bit that way for him. I know he like his fish steam, and the other one they want it roasted. So and also there is a lot of accommodation that they can do with you in the kitchen, that when you come as a client in the restaurant, you cannot have that proximity with the chef. So there is a lot of dietary restriction that you have to respect, very important, the gluten-free, the celiac disease. So, it's really dangerous. You have to know what you're doing. And so that's why you need to know more, better it is, from the guest they're going to have and from the people they're going to hire you. So when you get in place, you know already what they like, what they dislike, what to don't put for that person or that person. Some people, they don't like black pepper, they like white pepper. Some people, they like mild spicy. So you can accommodate better when you work as a private chef, personal chef in the house, than when you work in a restaurant or you have all of that pressure. So let's say I have 10 guests and 8 of them, they're going to have 8 different requests about the cooking, about the spiciness, I'm okay with that, Some chef will say, no, medium, we cook medium rare and it's going to be medium rare. You don't like it, you don't like it. No, I really think you have to work with the client today. We cannot be those kind of chef anymore. So that's what they like. They like the fact that it's so convenient. They talk to the chef. My God, just for me, he's going to personalize my menu. It's going to personalize my menu. In a restaurant, I'm scared to say, I want this instead of this, because they don't want it. The waiter, the kitchen, they have a system and they just want to send and make money because they come at the morning to prep and to send the menu. That's all they do. So this is a plus also, and the value of what we're doing gets super higher with that kind of detail, You like dog, you don't like dog. All of this question, could be anything. Do you like me to have 2 person in the kitchen, or maybe you're not comfortable having too much people in your kitchen, so I should have one cook that I know is faster and he can do the job for 2. So we are not so a lot of detail, and you learn. And I still, of course, learning as a chef, because you're never like a chef, you're always learning. And as a new entrepreneur and as a new way to cook, because again, you arrive to a house that you don't know, you ask for picture of the counter, picture of the oven, of the plate, but still just a picture. Sometimes they send you video. So when you arrive, you still you don't know that place, So you need to ask a lot of questions and be ready. Ask them to prep all of the plate before on the table, silverware, glasses. You need to be organized. My waiter will come at 5 p.m. when my dinner will start at 7, and we'll organize everything, So it's a lot of small organization, a small detail, but the devil is in the detail. So it's good to know more than less, And when you get to that point, or you arrive relaxed, you can do anything. Really, people are really happy at the end. You have no idea. So many times, people, they want to hire me. I give you an example. 3 days ago, I received a lead from a nice lady. She want to celebrate her birthday of her mother, 75 years old. Unfortunately, she lost her father the years before, but her mother loved French cooking and she watched my TikTok for months and she loved it, social media. And so her daughter reached out to me and said, listen, we wanted to have a surprise for her for 75 years birthday. It's going to be for 10 people. Can you come cooking for you, for us? I said, yes, so no problem. But I have a request, Chef Yllan. I want you to eat with us. And it's not the first time people ask me to be on the table with us. So that's what I say. You're sharing something else. Some people, they're going to be like, the chef has to be in the kitchen. But most of them, at least they're going to invite you for drink wine, a drink a little vodka, or just sit down for the dessert. And that girl, she invited me. She said, I pay for your seat. I just want you to sit and speak about your experience and about Paris. And we're having a dinner all together. My mother will be super happy. So I was uncomfortable. And I know, I'm like, okay, yes, I'm not going to let her pay for my seat, of course. But, this is kind. So I'm going to be around them. And that's how from that family and from that dinner, I will have probably in 3 months, 3 organic leads that I will not pay for. It's just because people speaking about me, because this is the goal. Paying less to make a certain.
Yeah. So one of the things you just touched up on is the TikTok part. It was a very organic lead in the first place, and it's because you started branding yourself. You have those videos out there. She found you over TikTok, and that leads into, even because you're going above and beyond. You're catering to what she really wants from you. You're giving them an experience, and that turns into more leads that are generating more organic business. And that's one of the things I always keep saying is, as a chef, if you don't have raving fans, you don't have a business. Like, it needs to be, because if it's an average experience, you might get business, but it will always feel like an uphill battle. Mm-hmm. And it needs to get to a point where like you have now, where people organically reach out to you because there have been other people that had tremendous experiences with you. And that's so important to get people, just like you said, when you knew that you got that job, when the principal walked into the kitchen and there was something about the face, you need to be able to, have those moments and create those experiences for guests in order to, I think, have a thriving personal or private chef business.
Absolutely. And again, everything today is related, everything is SEO. So whatever you're going to do and speak about yourself by your blog post, backlink or anything will rank better all the time. So, yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
Okay, chef.
There was, I'm sorry.
I have to.
You here?
No, I was just about to say that I actually have to get going here.
Okay.
But we already spoke for over an hour.
That's a lot. It was a really pleasure to speak with you. Thank you very much again for inviting me. And I hope we can stay in touch, like sending message or having like a new update about the private chef or food will be a pleasure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Thank you for joining us at the Private Chef podcast. If you know any highly skilled chefs that want to take their life to the next level, make sure to share this podcast with them. And if you enjoyed this episode, click subscribe and check out our upcoming episodes. Thank you for listening.